Have you ever thought of the significance behind meanings and descriptions?
Do you know how to properly write and use different definitions?
Well, today we will let you in a ride to yet another discussion.
Good day, great and virtual learners, and welcome to a special episode of
Chit Chats, where we talk about English topics
wherever you're at.
Yes, you are right, Miss Kate. This is a special episode because we are actually being viewed by most of the great and learners from across Valenzuela City.
That is true, Teacher MK. And for us to monitor their participation, we want you to key in these details for your attendance. Your name, your grade and section, the name of your English teacher, and to add some fun, also include our hashtag #EnglishChitChat.
Also, just like the previous discussion, by the end of our lesson, you are expected to acquire a competency. And for this week's most essential learning competency, our milk is give technical and operational definitions.
And forming our objectives for the lesson, by the end of our discussion, you are expected to, number 1, identify expanded definitions of words. Number 2, note important details on technical terms used in research. And lastly, define technical and operational terms in research.
Now, before we officially have our lesson for today, let us first test your understanding of the previous lesson with our activity called Fact or Bluff.
For this activity, there will be a statement about the previous lesson which will be shown for each round.
You have to type the word fact if the statement is true and the word bluff if not.
5 seconds will be given per statement before we reveal the answer. Well, let's start.
Now let us have our first statement. It says here, technical definition is used in expanding the vocabulary since most of these terms are explained in the exact manner. Is it a fact or a bluff? 5 seconds to key in your answer in the comment section.
Time is up. The answer is fact. It's true. Now let us have our next statement. Operational definition includes the various attempts to define or explain a certain process and its properties. Is it a fact or a bluff? Key in your answer in 5 seconds.
Okay, time is up. The statement is a... Okay, yes, correct. It is a fact. Now on to our next statement. It says here, providing examples of how a term is used in the subject is an example of definition that should be used in technical writing. Fact or bluff? 5 seconds to comment your answers.
Okay, time's up. This statement is a bluff. This is because giving example is a way of giving operational definition.
Okay, thank you for explaining that, Ma'am Kate. Now our next statement says, a spectrum is a condition that is not limited to a specific set of values, but can vary without steps across a continuum. This is an example of an operational definition. Is it a fact or a bluff? 5 seconds to comment your answers.
Okay, time's up. The correct answer is a fact. And for our last statement, it states here, refrigerator is used for preservation of food. This is also an example of an operational definition. Is it a fact or a bluff? 5 seconds to answer.
Oops, time's up. And the answer for that is... Okay, it is also a fact. Congratulations to those who got high scores. It just shows how much you have learned from the previous lesson.
And it also shows how much you're ready for our next discussion. And that being said, welcome to English 10, Quarter 4, Lesson 3.
Making definitions, technical versus operational definitions. And so as we discuss this topic, we will have yet another activity called Guess the Gibberish.
For this activity, each round, there will be a set of nonsensical words. Read these words quickly to identify the word that it really is.
We will also provide the definition as your clue. You just have to comment your answers in the comment section. Now let us start with our first Guess the Gibberish puzzle.
Our first word is a statement of the meaning of a word or word group or a sign or symbol. By reading the words quickly, you will have what? 5 seconds to comment your answers.
Okay, your 5 seconds up. The correct answer is... Okay, we have definition. And definitions are statements of meanings to a word that you look up in the dictionary or any other sources.
We actually have 2 types of definition, and one of which is our next puzzle. It is a definition that mostly used to explain or describe academic terms and could be used in expanding the vocabulary. What could it be? 5 seconds to key in your answer.
The correct answer is right. We call that definition a technical definition. Our next type of definition is a description of something in terms of the operations. Might it be procedures, actions, or processes by which it could be observed and measured. 5 seconds to comment your answers.
And the answer is very well, operational definition. Both technical and operational definitions are oftentimes used when it comes to writing your research. But to formally define a word or group of words, we actually use a certain format.
That is true, Miss Kate. We usually begin with the word or phrase to be defined, followed by the class or object or concept to which the term belongs. And lastly, by differentiating characteristics that distinguish it from all others of its class.
Let us give you an example. In here it says, philosophy is the study of the fundamental nature of knowledge, reality, and existence, especially when considered as an academic discipline. As you notice, it started with the word philosophy is being defined.
Then it was being followed by its class or a study or body of knowledge and its distinct role in academic discipline. Well, it is very important to define the word carefully because definitions may be different depending on the purpose of the word. Let us look at this example.
The word structure is defined in 3 different ways. In the dictionary meaning, it is defined as a manner by which something is built or organized. In engineering, it means configuration of steel beams that serves as foundation to a building. And in linguistics, it is an arrangement of words.
You see, words may have different meanings depending on its purpose or field, so you have to be careful in choosing which definition will best suit the purpose or the research you are conducting.
That is right, Teacher MK. Now, technical definition also comes in different types. One is our next word puzzle. It is typically composed of only a sentence or 2 just to provide a brief and comprehensive meaning to the reader. What type of technical definition is this? 5 seconds to answer.
So what could it be? Your 5 seconds up, the correct answer is... Okay, we call it short definition. And as an example, we have this. Filipino is how the citizens of the Philippines is called. As you notice, this is just a brief definition of who a Filipino is.
For our next type of technical definition, we have this. A statement that explains or qualifies something. It gives extra extra information and helps to make something clearer. 5 seconds to key in your answers. Go!
Okay, time is up. Correct answer is parenthetical definition. It explains more of the word through the use of parentheses.
For an example, we have this. I bought an ice cream last night and it was really good. As you can see, additional information was presented inside the parentheses.
For the last type of technical definition, we have this. They use descriptions or visuals to define a term. It exists also in lengthier texts where a detailed information is needed. 5 seconds to comment your answers.
Correct answer is extended definition. It is used for the readers to know more about the term by providing more information about it.
Once again, the types of technical definition include short definition, which is a brief and comprehensive meaning, parenthetical definition, which explains or qualifies and gives extra information,
and lastly, extended definition, which uses descriptions or visuals and is detailed in nature. If technical definition has types, operational definitions also has its own, and one of which is our next Guess the Gibberish puzzle.
Okay, these are steps created by the researcher in order to achieve a specific investigatory condition that will help with the research. What do you think is the answers? 5 seconds to comment, go!
Time is up. We call that experimental operational definition or manipulated independent variables. In studies, there would be some time that a researcher would want to introduce a variable or make modifications to see if some variable is present and to determine if it affects the participants.
Hey, thank you, Miss Kate. And for our last Guess the Gibberish puzzle, and the second type of operational definition, we have this. These are processes used in order to keep a close eye to observe and measure a variable. 5 seconds to comment your answers.
And time's up. The correct answer is measured operational definitions or assigned variables. These are the times where our focus is not to manipulate the variables but to see and examine them as it is. This is measured operational definition.
Once again, the types of operational definition includes experimental operational definitions or manipulated independent variables, which are steps created in research to create an experimental condition.
And don't forget, measured operational definitions or measured or assigned variables, which are processes used in order to keep a close eye to observe and measure.
Congratulations on finishing your Guess the Gibberish puzzles. We are beyond grateful of how you are active in participating, which just shows your understanding of our lesson.
Before we end our discussion, we will give you enough time to prepare questions that you want to be clarified or explained more. Afterwards, we will answer your questions.
Okay, but Miss Kate, as they type their question, let us give them some reminders as they create their definitions. Now first, don't forget, put a lot of considerations in giving definitions, especially when the word needs to be defined with a more comprehensive explanations and descriptions.
That's right, Teacher MK. Another reminder for everyone is definition of one word may be different depending on your purpose of using it. So, put terms or concepts in context, especially when writing your own researches to avoid confusion.
Okay, Ma'am Kate, I think that is enough time for them to key in their questions. Now let us answer some of their clarifications. from a learner of Malanday National High School. It asks here, Ma'am Kate, why is it important to define terms in a research?
Well, it is important to define terms in a research in order to give your readers the information that they need to have a better grasp of what it is that you are tackling. In making sure that you have defined the terms as they needed to be, you are ensuring the smooth understanding of your readers.
Thank you, Ma'am Kate.
Now, next question is from Bagbagan National High School. They asked Sir MK, which is more important, technical or operational definition?
That's a good and tricky question. Well, both are very much important in making sure that we are providing our readers the definition they need in a specific context. Technical definition would give our readers the detailed description of a term and is commonly seen in dictionaries, while operational definition is used to define terms exactly what the variables are and how they are measured within the context of a research or study.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
Now for our final question, Miss Kate, from a learner of Lawang Baton National High School, they ask, what are the ways to make sure that we are defining terms correctly?
Well, we can make sure that we are providing correct terms if we are extending our effort, researching and widening our understanding of the term. This would give us the opportunity to be exposed with definitions that could be best suited for the terms that you are defining.
So that concludes our discussion for English 10 Quarter for Lesson 3, Making Definitions.
Your English teachers will provide you module tasks for this week.
Always remember, we hope of nothing but additional learning in your minds as you explore the beauty of the English subject. I am Teacher MK from Lawang Baton National High School.
This is not a goodbye, and surely we will meet again for future English lessons. I am Ms. Rosha Gitamas from Bagbagan National High School.
Thank you for your active participation.
See you on our next episode of
Chit Chats, where we talk about English topics
wherever you're at.